In societies around the world, the idea of a live-in relationship where two people choose to live together, romantically without legally marrying, remains a controversial subject. For some, the idea sparks concerns about morality, tradition, and social stability. But is living together outside of marriage truly immoral? Or are our perceptions shaped more by history and culture than by any inherent ethical truth? First, it's important to understand what a live-in relationship really is. At its core, it's a mutual choice made by consenting adults to share their lives, responsibilities, and daily routines without formalizing their partnership through marriage. In many cultures, marriage has long been seen as the only acceptable context for romantic cohabitation. As a result, people often view other arrangements with skepticism, assuming that anything outside the norm must be wrong. But if we look more deeply, we see that morality is not always as black and white as tradition suggests. One common argument against live-in relationships is that they undermine the institution of marriage and, by extension, the family. But does choosing to live together without marrying truly harm others? Both individuals are adults, making free and informed choices. And if their relationship is based on mutual respect, honesty, and care, it's difficult to see how their private lives could have a negative moral impact on society at large. In fact, one could argue that what makes a relationship ethical is not its legal status, but rather how the individuals treat each other inside it. Historically, marriage has often been more about social and economic arrangements than about love. In many traditional societies, marriages were arranged between families, sometimes with little input from the couple themselves. The rise of live-in relationships reflects a shift in priorities. People now seek compatibility, happiness, and understanding before making lifelong commitments. Living together allows partners to test the real dynamics of a relationship on a daily basis. It can, in fact, encourage honesty and self-awareness, since both people remain together by choice, not by obligation or societal pressure. Some worry that without the bond of marriage, people in live-in relationships may not be as committed. But empirical research increasingly suggests that commitment is not simply a function of legal status. Many couples in live-in relationships demonstrate equal, or sometimes even greater, levels of devotion compared to those who formalize their unions. When two adults freely share responsibilities, emotional, financial, domestic, they show a commitment built on self-governed decision-making, not simply the weight of tradition. Others claim that live-in relationships have a negative impact on children. While it's true that stability is important for young people, there is no inherent reason why a live-in relationship should necessarily be less stable, responsible, or nurturing than a marriage. Indeed, the quality of parenting depends far more on the maturity, care, and teamwork of the adults involved than on their marital status. In many parts of the world, increasing numbers of families are structured outside of traditional marriage, and children raised in loving, cooperative homes, regardless of their parents' legal relationship, do just as well. Morality at its heart is about the capacity to act in ways that are considerate, honest, and just. If a live-in relationship is marked by respect, communication, and genuine care, then it is just as moral as any marriage. Conversely, a marriage without these qualities offers little in the way of true ethical value. The presence or absence of a legal document does not guarantee virtue. It is the day-to-day choices, the patience and kindness extended, and the honesty maintained that define whether a partnership is moral. It's also important to recognize the role of changing societal values. Not so long ago, even marrying for love rather than for social advantage was seen as radical or even immoral in some contexts. Views on morality change as society evolves and learns to prioritize individual freedom and fulfillment. Alongside collective stability, what once seemed inconceivable can become common sense with time and experience. In the end, any relationship between consenting adults, built on respect and care, is worthy of recognition and dignity, regardless of whether it conforms to every societal expectation. To call live-in relationships immoral is to mistake personal discomfort or unfamiliarity for wrongdoing. Ultimately, morality is best served not by enforcing conformity, but by encouraging genuine, responsible, and compassionate ways of living together. As society continues to change, we would do better to judge our relationships not by the forms they take, but by the values they embody. In that light, live-in Relationships are no more or less moral than marriage. They are simply another way for adults to share their lives, learn from each other, and find happiness on their own terms.